5 most important questions for nonprofits is really based on a discipline that was developed by Peter Drucker. And I'm pleased to have the opportunity to direct this program because it allows nonprofits to get a good feel about what they're doing today, what they need to do in the future, and how they can be most successful. It asks 5 very essential questions which on the surface appear to be easy, but as you dig deep and understand these questions, they can be somewhat complex. The program allows us the opportunity to have the dialogue with all of those entities that are important within nonprofits, like the government, like the social sector, the businesses that work with nonprofits, and ask these very specific questions and help the nonprofit executive understand what their businesses are doing today and what they need to do in the future in order to be successful. Let me share first of all that what I did at IBM was to run our sales training and sales transformation for the Americas. And so I had an opportunity to make sure all of the sellers, all of the sales managers, and all of the sales executives were trained. What I decided to do as I left IBM, because I needed to work, I'm not old enough to retire, was to start my own business. And in that business, I pulled all of the best elements of my job at IBM. And so I have an opportunity to work with executives in leadership development. I work with different companies to develop their managers, and I also do some coaching, some executive coaching with them. And so as I transitioned from IBM into this new role, I really did a survey of all of the skills that I had and decided to look at those areas that I thought needed a bit improvement so I could be the best I could possibly be. And I wanted to add to my toolkit the ability to really do executive coaching. Although I had done it previously, I didn't have all of the skills I wanted to have. And coming to the Sherpa coaching program at TCU here at the Neeley School gave me the opportunity to have the structure that I was looking for, the language that I was seeking, and really provided me then a way to round out myself. So I was looking at a way to round out my skill set, and that's what has happened with that program. Well, I would say that we all need to continually build our skill so that we can make the greatest impact for our companies. What I have found at the Tandy Center is that there are a plethora of opportunities to get some training. There are a number of different courses, a number of different programs. I am thrilled to be able to work with the Tandy Center to facilitate several of those. And what you'll be able to do as an executive is pick and choose exactly what your team needs, whether it's something for you personally, or if you have a team that needs to come together in a number of different ways, maybe to do strategic planning, or perhaps for your managers to become more skilled in different areas, you can find that at the Tandy Center. And that's what I think would be the advantage. Would be that you could get courses that are already developed, or there would be some that could be customized just for you. I look to my customers because I ask them the same question. What do you see from the coaching you're getting? What do you see from the management training that we're doing? And there is a real dollar value that they are able to place on what they get because they're building skill. They are being more effective. They're being wiser users of their time. There's an investment up front, absolutely, in both your time and your money. But on the back end, what my customers have found is that they're able to save in the amount of time that they now spend because they've gotten some very specific training. They've put together plans that help them overcome some issues they may have had in the past. And so the return on investment has been a positive one that if I were to go to them and ask them to put a dollar figure to, they can do that.
And first of all, I'd like to say that the Tandy Center does an excellent job of identifying the topics and the issues that are relevant in today's business environment. The other thing that I think is extremely important is the level of instructor. They're experts in their field. They are able to share techniques and approaches that are proven, and it allows the leader to go back into their environment and to implement right away. The other area that I'm impressed with is the network of HR leaders that takes the courses, and you're able to talk with them, people who are in the trenches with you, interested in the same areas that you're interested in, and you can compare your techniques with them well after the class is over. So that's very important to me as a leader. I am currently an HR director of HR operations for a large organization, and I was able to take a class here called cross-cultural fluency, and I'm also responsible for offshore operations for my organization, specifically in India. And I was able to get some insights from the class, and it just so happened I went to India 1 week after that class, and a lot of the focus was on not being so focused on my own culture, but to really be sensitive to the differences there. And one of the big differences in India and US is their culture is more docile. In meetings here in the US, the more assertive you are, that's looked upon as positive. And so it allowed me to really be sensitive to how I approach them. And it allowed me to be very effective in getting the business results that we needed. First of all, the organizations that are investing in their leaders, I congratulate them, because it sends a strong message to the leaders that investment in people is a way to get where you're trying to go. And I believe with organizations investing in their leaders, they will then invest in their people. The other thing is, it's not just theory that the executive leader is learning here at Tandy. It's real-world application. So therefore, it cuts down when you leave the class, it cuts down on the trial and error, the learning curve. The organization will benefit from leaders who are able to implement those techniques and approaches that were learned immediately. And that gives that organization a competitive advantage. And so I think that's the biggest return on investment. In the areas of strategic thinking, equips the leaders in motivating people, attracting and retaining employees in this competitive environment. Again, in the global environment, cultural influence. So that leader will then be able to achieve those goals quickly in those key areas for the organization. So it's really an immediate return on investment.
Crucial Conversations really is something that is useful for all leaders at all levels of organization. I've been a student of the topic of leadership probably for 15 years at this point in time, and I've worked with people in a variety of different organizations to help those leaders accomplish their objectives, particularly around creating and leading meaningful change in organizations. Everything we know about leadership, everything that people write about leadership is true. Leaders need to be visionary. Leaders need to be able to envision what a result looks like, what they're trying to accomplish. Leaders need to be good communicators and inspiring communicators, and help people kind of connect with the change challenge and what we're trying to accomplish. But leadership also happens every day in the trenches. Leadership happens face to face. Leadership happens when people engage others in ways to get their head and their heart into the process, into the game. So Crucial Conversations is a skill set. It's not a communications program per se. It's a skill set that helps individuals be better able to get the best of others into the conversation, into the pool of shared meaning is what we talk about, and therefore allowing us to make better decisions and to take better and more appropriate actions towards creating the future that we want. The training program itself is a 2-day program. That program involves a variety of different ways of engaging people in the room, from short lecturettes to a lot of activities to a lot of small group interaction and large group interactions, some activities, some role plays, and some of the best videos to help people start to identify ways in which we behave that are inappropriate, and maybe most importantly, good video around ways that we can be successful engaging in a real crucial conversation. People come to the training program with an idea of the issue that they want to address with a particular individual or particular group, and over the course of the 2-day program they learn the capabilities to address that particular issue. In other words, it becomes their acid test. It becomes the example that they apply all of the learnings to, and at the end of that program they're better able to step up and take on that particular challenge.
I think one of the issues that's at the forefront of the leadership discussion in general now for business worldwide, as businesses seek to firm up internal operations, firm up U.S. operations, successful businesses have to be having the diversity discussion relative to the global nature of business today. Even if you don't have global services or global sales of your product, you're interacting with global companies. That tells you that you have interactive and diverse inputs, interactive and diverse outputs and cycles within your organization. In order to maximize those, you have to understand the elements that compose those cycles and compose those processes. That includes the employees, that includes your customer touch points, it includes vendor relations, those kinds of things. So we take a very comprehensive approach to the entire subject, and the Neeley School and the Tandy Center has helped us to do that. What the strength of it comes in the ability to not only identify the issue, but help organizations clarify the issue and then get to tangible, visible actions that can be implemented on a rapid basis so that you start to see results very, very quickly. I'll tell you, for us, the immediate win and what we expect to be the big win long term is the establishment of relationships in many different ways with the Tandy Center. Specifically, even in our early stages of this relationship with Tandy, I myself have already interacted with you on a regular basis. We've had 2 of your faculty members come out to our site to have discussions with us about our business, understand our business model better, help us to understand your business model better and your business proposition better. I've also engaged with one of our employees who's an executive MBA student. We didn't realize until we got involved in this relationship. Since then, have also been contacted by 2 MBA students from TCU who want to learn more about our organization. So what I would say is the immediate win, as well as the long-term win, is the establishment of this network that's going to generate partnerships in many different aspects at many different levels of the organization. That thereby, from a CEO's perspective, that generates more challenging conversations, more energized conversations, and I think that's what's going to be the difference maker for any business going forward. I think it's affecting those who recognize them, and those who intentionally try to take advantage of global perspective are able to take advantage of it, and so it's affecting them in a positive manner. I think to the extent that you're not trying to proactively and aggressively, as a matter of fact, understand global perspective and develop your leaders to not only grasp it, but engage in it, better understand it, be able to dialogue within it. Those are going to be some key traits for leaders going forward. And if you're not actively working on those now, you're going to find yourself behind the 8 ball very, very quickly. And at that point, it's going to be very tough to get caught up. The pace at which business is happening, we've all read the literature, the pace at which business is happening is astonishing. There's no indication that that's ever going to slow down from here going forward. The other thing is the pace at which the global perspective is integrating and permeating business thought and leadership thought is increasing at a dramatic rate. We've got to grasp a hold of that. We've got to get on top of that and be able to move forward with it in order for the business to succeed at the same rate.